to the 12 steps can kiss my ass. And it took a while. Anybody that believes that the 12 steps is their only path to salvation from drug abuse or whatever abuse, that's fine. I'm not gonna begrudge you for that. I'm really not. You do what works for you. But for the rest of us, the 12 steps is a cult. It's a cult that is a dangerous cult because it tells you that you have no power, that you have no ability to think for yourself, that you need a higher power that doesn't exist. Bear that in mind, at least in my opinion. So when I was about 15 years old, I'm going to tell this story. I was about 15 years old, and I was going, I had anger issues. I was a stupid kid. I was just a stupid kid. I'm a stupid adult, but I was a stupider kid. I'm actually kind of a smart adult, but I was a pretty smart kid too. But, I had anger issues. And I was seeing this counselor, and he said, "What kind of drugs are you on?" I wasn't on any drugs. Didn't do any drugs. I'd smoked pot twice, maybe. I drank a little bit, out of my parents' liquor cabinet kind of thing. And, but "What kind of drugs do you do?" "Oh man, I'm shooting heroin," is what I told this guy. Just because, fuck him. Fuck that motherfucker. Fuck you, man. What the fuck? Who cares what the fuck I do? Fuck you. That was my attitude at the time. And, so, he suggested to my parents that they off to drug rehab. And they sent me to a place called Straight Incorporated in Marietta, Georgia. If anybody out there has ever been to Straight Incorporated in Marietta, Georgia, hey, please leave a comment because I was there. It was an old King's supermarket. I think it was a King's. I think it was a King's supermarket, and they had converted it into a drug rehabilitation center. And you had the boys on this half and the girls on this half. It was about maybe 50 girls, maybe 75 boys. And it was a technical name. This is what they called it: a humiliation brainwashing program. And yeah, it's based on the 12 steps. Based on the 12 steps. You have to have, admit that you have no power. Admit that there's a higher power that is going to control the blah, 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 and that you're going to be a fucking junkie forever. So, so step one was a minimum of 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm an old man at this time. I was 15 when this happened. But it did shape who I became as a human being. It really did. It had a lot to do with, they fucked with you. You couldn't read, couldn't speak. They drag you around by your belt loop, right? They do this number, like stick their fucking finger through your belt loop with their middle finger, and then wrap it around and hold it and tote you around like that. And that was day-to-day life. From 8 a.m. until midnight, you were in this King's supermarket. It was bizarre. at midnight, they would tote you from there to host families, is what they called them, host families. And they'd take you there, and you'd bunk up with 5 or 7 other indoctrinates. And then, 6 o'clock in the morning, you'd wake up and eat your little biscuit or whatever the fuck the host family mother or father decided to feed the people. And they'd tote you back over to the King's Supermarket. And, hey, look at you see, it's not a cockroach. That is what you call a water bug right there. We're here in the dirty South. I'm not even concerned about that guy. Fuck him. They tote you back down there to the King's Supermarket. Do it all over again. This was 7 days a week, every day. And there's one licensed psychologist, not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, one on hand for 120 misguided kids. And most of us were just, from what I saw, most everyone was mostly just angry young kids, angry young white kids, for that matter, because the place wasn't covered by insurance. If your parents didn't have money to pay for it, you weren't going to be there. But you weren't allowed to speak unless you were asked a specific question. And you weren't allowed to read, but you had to make a journal. Tricky, right? And in that journal, you had to write your sins down, basically. It's basically what it came down to. You had to write down your sins. Sins that you thought that day, or you were gonna think tomorrow, or that you did last year, blah, 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 fucking blah. And, because they only had the one clinical psychologist, the way the place was, it was Lord of the Flies. It was. Level 2 picked on level 1, level 3 picked on level 2, level 4 picked on level 3, level 4B picked on level 4. And level 4B graduated. And it was generally people would get out after level 4B. And I'd see people coming, getting out at level 4B after 2.5 fucking years. And now, at my age, I'm 44 years old, or 45 years old, I don't even remember. But at the time when I was 15, and you can probably relate to this, especially if you're a 15-year-old. When you're 15, 2.5 years might as well be the end of the world. I mean, that's fucking 2.5 years. I might be dead by then. I mean, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be out and enjoying young teenage pussy. Drinking cold beers in the sun with my friends. Out at the beach. Not sitting in here with these fucking schmucks. So, I get this, let me step back just a second. So, your first week in there, they have this, ritual, is the way I like to say it. And it goes like this. Of course, you got the girls on this side, and the boys on this side, but you got the parents on that side, right? And all the fucking number oneers, right, which I was a part of, they're supposed to stand up and say, I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. And sit the fuck back down. Right? Everybody gets all teary-eyed and it's beautiful. Oh, yeah, blah, blah. So when it gets to be my turn, no. That's not how it's gonna go. I stand up and I say, fuck you, Mom. Fuck you, Dad. And I get jumped on by the crowd of, the level 2s and 3s and 4s that are all around me. They jump on me and they fucking throw me to the floor, and I, of course, fucking kick most of their asses. I take the fucking chair and fucking beat a few of them down, and it's just my nature. I'm not gonna be, you don't fuck with this one, right? You can fuck with me, and I've got a good sense of humor, but if you fucking contain me, no, it's not gonna go well for you. It might not go well for me, but it's definitely not gonna go well for you. So, I upset the whole fucking arena. It was awesome. I would do it all over again. And that happened. That was I think day 2 that I was in there. And so I was in there for about 30 days. And you're not allowed to talk, but me. I learned the only way you could get out of that place was through psychological issues. It's the only way you're going to get out. Suicide or absolute mania. Like, you're just fucking being not. I was like, okay, suicide it is. And I attempted it. Got the scars to prove it. So they're fading. I'm old now, and they're fading, but they're there. There's one. Kind of see it right there. Anyway, and when I did that, I didn't do it out of an attempt for attention. It had nothing to do with attention. It had everything to do with, I'm either going to get out of this place or I'm going to fucking die. Either way, I'm out of this fucking place. And they can kiss my fucking ass. So, I was in group one day, and it didn't just come willy-nilly. I was in group one day, and strange thing happens when you're separated from any cognitive thought. I had a vision, believe it or not. Wow, an atheist with a vision. It was fucking completely in my head. I had a vision of me and my buddy, my best friend, on the beach. Just playing, hanging out. And we ended up getting in a fight, And he threw sand in my face. Right? Sand in my eyes. Pissed me off. Bear in mind, this is a totally just what I thought of. I mean, it was literally like out of the middle of my brain. Never happened. But it was like it did. And it's really hard to describe. And so, and the way that what triggered it was, how everybody's house has a different smell? Everybody's got a different smell. I caught a whiff. Just a passing whiff of my buddy's smell. And I have this vision of me and him getting in a fight, and me killing him in the sand, and fucking driving his fucking head into the sand until he was dead in a bloody pulp in the fucking sand. And when I had that thought, I stand up and take my chair and I basically beat down, I feel bad about that, about 10 people. in my surrounding area. And they jumped on me and they put me down and blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck the Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies, kiss my ass. You will not control me. Oh, no, 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 no. You can try. You can try and you will fail. Every time. So... So I beat down these people around me. They, of course, beat me down much harder than I was able to beat them down. I mean, because there's 50 of them against one of me. I did my damn level best. And, so, after that happened, they sent me to this special house. And in this special house, you know, Danny was the guy's name. He was a level 4, I believe. He was a level 4. You know, his parents were real on the level. As much as a humiliation brainwashing program, volunteer, parent, couple can be. And so, you know, we all had to go into the bathroom at the same time. Well, they fucked up and left a fucking, you know, a razor blade, like a, you know, shave your face with. They left one sitting in the goddamn medicine cabinet while Danny was in the shower. So I grabbed that thing, I dissect it, and I pull the blades out of it. Go to bed that night and proceed to, I mean, you can't really see it, but I did my very best to trace the vein. I mean, I did my best to trace the artery. I was trying. I really was trying. I wasn't any bullshit. I was going for it. It wasn't any bullshit. Come morning, I'm laying there in a pool of blood, you know. And they were like, oh shit, we fucked up there, didn't we? Didn't work, obviously. I didn't do a good enough job. I'm still alive at 45 years old or whatever. And, so they sent me to, they were like, oh, we don't deal with suicides. We don't deal with suicide. Yay me. Go suicide. I'm not, hey kids, don't try suicide, nobody likes it. Don't try suicide, nobody cares. Don't try suicide, you're just gonna hate it. And nobody gives a damn. So, but the straight damn sure gave a damn. So they sent me to a mental hospital. They sent me to a mental hospital. And I was there for 30 days. Got laid for the first time in my life. Sherry was her name. Yeah. Real cute little brunette, man. She was probably 16 or 17. Crazy as a bat, you know what I'm saying? But real cute. And loved me, you know. And I was there for 30 days. 30-day program in Marietta, Georgia. At the fucking General Hospital. And, after 30 days, they said, okay, Todd, you have a decision to make. You can go back to straight. Yeah, right. Or you can go to Highland Hospital in North Carolina, which is a minimum, I can't remember how long, like a minimum 9-month program or something. Or you can go to this 30-day program over wherever. And I was like, I'll take the 30-day program, man, of course. Give me the 30 days. I'm good, you know? So, the day that I was supposed to ship out to the 30-day program, here comes Dad. And I love my dad, don't get me wrong. I do. I love my dad. He's a cool dude. He just didn't know what to do. what do you do when your fucking kid's just so pissed off at the world and such an idiot, you know? And anyway, Dad shows up with 3 guys from Straight to take me back to Straight. And they've got me in this little there's maybe a 6x6 room. And they're like, okay. And I mean, I was in there before they showed up. They showed up in the door. And in that room was a chair and a telephone and a desk. They lunged towards me. I pick up the damn telephone receiver. This was back in the 80s, when you still had like telephone receivers that you put up to your ear and great big, dial tone and all that shit, and proceed to beat the shit out of them. I did. I got some good licks, man. None of those. We're talking about people my age now getting beaten down by a 15-year-old kid. I'm still proud of myself over that one. Oh, shit. But, so, needless to say, the interns came in and shot me up with a couple shots of Thorazine in the ass, which was fun. Never do Thorazine. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Couldn't speak that. It's like you had fucking foam in your mouth, man. Terrible, terrible experience. Never. Don't do Thorazine, kids. It's not good for you. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. So, they end up taking me up to this other place, Highland Hospital. Long story short, it's already kind of been long, but longer story shorter than it would be. Spent another 1.5 years in Highland Hospital, and got laid twice, not 3 times. Learned how to do cocaine. Got turned on to the Grateful Dead. Got turned on to the Doors. And proceeded to have a reason to do more drugs. So I guess the moral of the story is to parents who might consider sending their children to drug rehab, not a good idea. It's just not. The best thing you can do, and I mean this really with a lot of compassion, is to speak with them and find out what's going on in their heads, because kids, man, they're fucking loony, man. They're not I had never done drugs when they thought that I was doing heroin. I had never done anything. But they thought I did, so man, too bad the guy. And my bad. It's my fault. I mean, it was my stupid young ass fault. And this was back in the 80s with the tough love shit, Yeah, fuck tough love. Don't be tough love, man. Be love. Be love to your children. Not tough love. It doesn't work. And it alienates your kids from you. And that's the last thing that you want to do, right? I mean, I would think that's the last thing that you would want to do. And that's the last thing my dad wanted. But he didn't know. He was just taking this fucking dumbass counselor's fucking advice. So, what I say, if you got an angry son, send him to the woods and leave him there. I'm not kidding either. Just take him to the woods, drop him off, and make him find his way home. By the time he gets home, he'll probably have figured a lot of things out. I mean, maybe give him a stick and maybe a bow and arrow or something, just so he can fight off some coyotes if they come at him. But Other than that, don't send them to drug rehab, because guess what? It's not going to work. It's not going to work, because when I came out of rehab, no. Did not go well for old Tato. I mean, I learned the best drugs to do. I learned the best ways to do them. And the best ways to sell them. The best ways to transport them. And the best people to do them with. And guess what? Stoners, not just stoners, and when I say stoners, I'm not talking about weed. There really is no good word for it. I want to say druggy, but that's such a shitty word. That's a shitty fucking word. I hate that fucking word. Fucking people that get high are fun. We're fun people, you know. Very influential, and I guess that's really all I have to say. So don't be tough love. Just be love, and you'll get through to them so much easier. They're probably not even doing drugs. They're just telling you they're doing drugs because you suck. Or they suck. In my case, I sucked. And I told them, yeah, I'm doing drugs. Fuck you. Just try to be love to your kids. Don't send them to drug rehab. I know that it's not as big of a thing as it was back in the 80s. But I think it's still a thing. I think. Anyway. Peace. Have great days.